Princess Charlotte inherits Diana's tiara, not Princess Leonor. Royal weddings and inheritances have always fascinated the world. We expect a story of tradition, of crowns passing predictably from generation to generation. But what happens when the crown jewels take an unexpected turn, when assumptions about who deserves a piece of history are shattered? The news is out. Princess Charlotte will inherit Diana's iconic tiara, not Princess Leonor of Spain. And this revelation has sent shockwaves across royal watchers and fans worldwide. At first glance, the decision might seem purely ceremonial, a passing of a sparkling heirloom. But behind the glitter lies a web of family dynamics, legacy, and politics that few ever see. Why Charlotte? Why now? And what does it mean that Leonor, often compared to Charlotte as a future queen, does not inherit the tiara? The answer is not just about jewels, it's about legacy, symbolism, and the unspoken rules of royal heritage. Let us begin with Diana's tiara itself. Officially called the Spencer tiara, it has adorned brides, heirs, and princesses for decades. It is more than a piece of jewelry, it is a statement, a family symbol, a connection to a lineage that blends love, tragedy, and history. For Lady Diana, it was her own statement of elegance and grace. When she wore it at her wedding to Prince Charles, the world marveled not just at the diamonds, but at the story they carried. And now, decades later, the tiara has a new heir. Princess Charlotte, the young daughter of Prince William and Catherine, steps into the spotlight with a piece of history previously imagined for another. For royal enthusiasts, this is more than fashion, it's a narrative twist, a rewriting of expectations. Some will argue it is a natural choice. Charlotte, as the second in line to the British throne after her older brother George, is an English heir, intimately tied to Diana's memory. But others cannot help but wonder, what about Princess Leonor, Spain's future queen, often compared in stature, grace, and public expectation to Charlotte herself? To answer that, we must look at the subtle rules of royal inheritance. The British crown jewels, especially family heirlooms like the Spencer tiara, are guided not only by lineage but by family discretion. Diana's family retains the right to decide who will carry the tiara forward. It is a decision steeped in emotion, not just protocol. Charlotte's selection reflects this. It honors a family bond, a national legacy, and the continuity of English royal tradition. Leonor, though a future queen, belongs to a different lineage, a different nation, with its own treasures, symbols, and responsibilities. But the story is richer than family politics. Think of the moments leading up to the decision. Charlotte's parents, William and Catherine, understood the weight of the tiara. It is not merely adornment, it is a symbol of history, responsibility, and public expectation. For Charlotte, receiving the tiara will be a formative experience, linking her to her grandmother Diana's legacy and to the public's enduring fascination with the crown. For Leonor, the lesson is different. Her path is guided by duty, leadership, and service rather than inheritance of specific objects, reminding the world that royal legacy is lived, not simply worn. The emotional layers deepen when we consider Diana herself. She remains an icon whose influence shapes choices decades after her passing. The tiara is a fragment of her story, and in selecting Charlotte, the family ensures that connection remains tangible, visible, and symbolic. Yet, the choice inevitably sparks conversation about fairness, expectation, and the invisible rules that govern royal inheritance. Would it have been different if Leonor were closer in bloodline to the Spencer family? Or is the decision less about blood and more about cultural continuity, keeping Diana's memory alive within the British monarchy? And then there is public perception. Across Spain, fans of Leonor may feel a tinge of disappointment, questioning why their future queen is overlooked in favor of a British heir. Across England, the announcement is celebrated, reinforcing Charlotte's emerging role as a bridge between past and future, a young princess carrying history on her head as much as on her shoulders. Social media erupts, commentators weigh in, and debates emerge about tradition, equality, and symbolism in royal life. These conversations are the modern reality of monarchy, where public opinion intertwines with protocol, and emotion shapes legacy as much as law. The tiara's journey is also a lesson in timing. Royal inheritances are rarely instantaneous. They are gradual, thoughtful, and strategic. In Charlotte's case, the timing underscores her growing role in public life and preparation for future responsibilities. The public will see her wear the tiara at significant occasions, and through those appearances, the memory of Diana is honored. For Leonor, the Spanish crown continues to cultivate its own symbols of authority, reinforcing that legacy and leadership manifest in unique forms within each royal house. Family tension, of course, is never far behind in these stories. Behind the glamour and public announcement lies private conversations, debates, and emotions. Imagine the deliberation: how to honor Diana's memory while nurturing Charlotte's identity, while respecting Leonor's stature as a young queen elsewhere in Europe. Every choice carries emotional weight. Every jewel tells a story beyond sparkle, embedding the wearer into centuries of expectation and history. And yet, this is also a story of resilience and public image. Both Charlotte and Leonor are navigating the complexities of youth under scrutiny. Charlotte's inheritance signals a step toward independence, recognition, and continuity. Leonor's journey, meanwhile, continues in Spain, shaped by her own responsibilities and milestones. Each young princess embodies values and legacy differently, one through tangible inheritance, the other through lived duty and leadership. The decision also raises broader questions about symbolism in monarchy. What does it mean when a piece of jewelry carries more than adornment? How do objects preserve memory, shape identity, and influence perception of future leaders? Charlotte wearing Diana's tiara is a visible bridge to the past. Leonor, in contrast, builds legacy through public service, education, and ceremonial presence. The contrast underscores that royal influence is measured both in symbols and in action. And as this narrative unfolds, we return to the core question: why does Charlotte inherit the tiara and not Leonor? The answer lies in layers: family discretion, lineage, national heritage, and personal memory. It is not a slight, but a deliberate decision reflecting the priorities of a family, the legacy of an icon, and the shaping of a future heir. Leonor's crown will be her own, forged in service and ceremony, while Charlotte's tiara carries the sparkle of history. Finally, consider the emotional impact on both young princesses. For Charlotte, the tiara will be both a joy and a responsibility, a link to a grandmother she never knew but whose spirit continues to inspire. For Leonor, the absence of the tiara is a lesson in resilience, humility, and the understanding that legacy transcends objects. Both are being shaped to lead, to inspire, and to navigate the intersection of history, expectation, and personal growth. In the end, this is not just about a jewel. It is about heritage, family, duty, and identity. It is about the ways monarchy balances history with the present, symbolism with action, and emotion with protocol. Princess Charlotte inheriting Diana's tiara, and Princess Leonor not, reminds the world that royal life is never simple, never predictable, and always intertwined with stories far greater than what meets the eye. This is the story of legacy in motion: one tiara, two princesses, and the enduring power of choice, memory, and duty in shaping the future of monarchy.